Have you ever noticed that the kindest people you know are also the most exhausted? The ones who carry everyone's weight but their own. The ones who always smile, even when their soul feels heavy. Maybe it's your mother, the one who never rests but never complains. Maybe it's your neighbor, always ready to help, even when she's falling apart. Or maybe it's you. You keep showing up. You keep saying yes. You tell yourself it's love, but sometimes love feels a lot like self-sacrifice. We grow up believing that kindness is simple. Be nice, be helpful, be selfless. But no one tells you what happens when kindness becomes your identity, when it becomes your armor, your mask, your way of earning love. Somewhere along the way, a child learns that saying yes brings peace, that pleasing others keeps chaos away. They learn that to be loved, they must disappear. And over time, this becomes a reflex. Automatic, unconscious. You stop asking, do I want this? And start asking, will this make them happy? Kindness turns from a choice into a survival strategy. You don't give because you want to. You give because you're terrified of what happens if you don't. And that's when something beautiful turns dangerous. Because kindness without boundaries is not kindness. It's self-abandonment dressed as virtue. And the cruel irony is that the world will use you for it. They'll call you selfless, dependable, the good one. But what they're really admiring is your willingness to disappear for their comfort. As Seneca once wrote, "He who pleases all pleases none, least of all himself." If you've ever felt unseen despite being so kind, if you've ever smiled while your chest quietly screamed, then you know kindness has a shadow. The truth is, there's a cost to being endlessly kind. You begin to shrink. Piece by piece, gesture by gesture, you trade your wholeness for approval. And at first, it feels like love. But it's not love. It's dependency. Theirs on you and yours on their validation. This is the mask of kindness. The one you wear so long that you forget your real face beneath it. And when that mask cracks, when the exhaustion finally leaks through, it doesn't look graceful. It looks like resentment. It looks like anger you don't understand. It looks like a breakdown that no one saw coming, because everyone assumed you were fine. That's the moment when people say, "You've changed." But you haven't changed. You've just stopped pretending. As Marcus Aurelius warned, be kind, but never at the expense of your soul. There's a point where kindness stops feeling light, where it no longer warms you, it drains you, where every smile feels a little heavier and every yes takes something from you. Psychologists call it compassion fatigue. It's what happens when empathy turns into exhaustion, when your nervous system carries too much pain, yours and everyone else's. You don't have to be a doctor or a therapist to feel it. You just have to be someone who keeps giving without stopping to breathe. At first, it looks harmless. You tell yourself you're just tired. You'll rest later, but later never comes. And slowly your body starts to speak for you. Your sleep turns shallow. Your patience thins. You wake up already exhausted as if your mind never stopped running. You say yes again and again, not out of love, but fear of rejection. Fear of letting someone down. Fear of being seen as selfish. You call it kindness, but it's fear in disguise. Fear dressed as virtue. When kindness becomes a currency, you start spending yourself like money. Every favor, every late night call, every problem you carry that isn't yours, it costs you something. And the cruelest part is, the world won't stop you. It rewards you for it. We glorify the ones who never rest. We admire the ones who never say no. We call them dedicated, loyal, selfless. But what we're really celebrating is their slow disappearance. As Gabor Mate wrote, when you say yes to others, make sure you are not saying no to yourself. Because that's how burnout begins, quietly, invisibly. You start losing your ability to feel joy. The things that once gave you peace start to feel like chores. You can't remember the last time you did something just for you. And deep down, you start to wonder if anyone would still love you if you stopped giving. That's the hidden terror behind endless kindness, the fear that your worth is conditional, that love will leave if you stop earning it. So you keep performing. You keep saying yes, even when every part of you is begging to rest. But nothing good grows from depletion. You can't pour from an empty vessel. You can't heal others while bleeding yourself dry. And yet, we try. We keep trying. Until something breaks. Maybe it's your body, a sickness that forces you to stop. Maybe it's your mind, anxiety that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. Or maybe it's your heart, resentment you didn't know was there, rising like smoke through all that patience. Because when you suppress your needs long enough, they don't disappear. They transform. Into frustration, into quiet anger, into a version of you that feels foreign, sharp, irritable, cold. That's the moment you realize kindness without honesty isn't kindness. It's denial. It's the lie you tell yourself to avoid confrontation. But lies, even gentle ones, always find a way out. We think kindness protects us from darkness. But kindness without truth invites it in. Because every fake smile, every swallowed no, every time you betray yourself to keep the peace, you create distance between who you are and who you pretend to be. And that distance becomes suffering. The Stoics taught that peace doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from facing it and mastering yourself within it. Real kindness demands that mastery. It asks you to tell the truth even when your voice shakes, to choose honesty over harmony when harmony costs your soul. Because love built on self-erasure isn't love. It's dependency wrapped in devotion. Burnout is the body's rebellion against a life that looks kind but feels suffocating. It's your soul's way of saying, I can't keep living like this. And if you listen, really listen, you'll realize that burnout isn't the end. It's the beginning of truth. So what happens after the burnout? After the mask falls, after the pretending stops, what's left of you? At first, it feels like emptiness. Silence where noise used to be, guilt where there used to be pride. But that silence is not death. It's the sound of truth trying to return. This is where real kindness begins, not in perfection, but in honesty. Not in the endless yes, but in the sacred no. The kind that no longer performs. The kind that comes from fullness, not fear. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A person's worth is measured by the worth of what they value. And if what you value most is pleasing others, your worth will always depend on their approval. But if what you value is truth, balance, and peace, your worth becomes untouchable." Kindness must begin with you. Not because you matter more than others, but because without roots, nothing grows. You can't offer shade if your own tree is dying. You can't pour love if your cup is dry. You can't heal others while you are quietly breaking. This is why boundaries exist, not as walls, but as definitions. They mark where you end and someone else begins. Without them, love turns to confusion and kindness turns to control. Boundaries are not rejection. They are clarity. They say, this is what I can give, and this is what I cannot. They say my love is real, but it cannot exist if I'm empty. As Brené Brown reminds us, compassion without boundaries is not compassion. Because love without truth is just guilt in disguise. So learn to pause. Learn to check in before you say yes. Ask yourself, do I have the energy for this? Do I want to? Does this honor me? Even a breath of awareness can save you from 1,000 quiet resentments. And when you say no, say it softly, but say it. A gentle no is still an act of love. It's love directed inward. It's you telling yourself, I matter too. Because when you begin to treat yourself with kindness, something changes. Your kindness to others becomes sharper, cleaner, more powerful. It no longer leaks out of guilt or fear. It radiates from peace. People feel it, the authenticity, the calm energy that doesn't beg to be seen. It inspires instead of exhausts. And yes, some people will leave. The ones who benefited from your silence, your endless yeses, they'll call you selfish. Let them. Because love that only exists when you disappear was never love at all. You will grieve, but that grief is sacred. You're not mourning who you were, you're releasing who you pretended to be. Every tear becomes soil for something new. Integrity, rest, peace. And from that soil, real kindness blooms. Real kindness is steady. It doesn't beg for applause. It doesn't drain or prove. It simply is. Calm, strong, and alive. It says, I love you, but I will not abandon myself for you. I care for you, but I must also care for me. My empathy is deep, but it has roots. The world doesn't need more people who say yes to everything. It needs people who give from wholeness. People who know how to rest, how to say no, how to protect the light within them, because only then can their light last. So the next time someone calls you kind, pause. Ask yourself, is this kindness coming from fear or from freedom? From guilt or from peace? From the mask or from the real me? The answer to that question will tell you everything. Because real kindness doesn't destroy you, it sustains you. It doesn't make you invisible, it makes you whole. And maybe that's the ultimate act of kindness. To live fully as yourself, to love without losing, and to give without disappearing. It's the kind of kindness the world needs most. If this message spoke to you, take a moment, breathe, and remember, healing starts with awareness. Subscribe to The Growth Valley for more deep talks that awaken your mind and bring you back to yourself. Stay grounded, stay growing.